Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast brought to you by WaygookinWay.com. WaygookinWay.com is my personal site where I blog about Korean life and Korean culture, as well as Korean American life and culture, all from the perspective of a non-Korean. If you would like to read more of the things I write, please be sure to visit the website, WaygookinWay.com. You can also follow me on social media. Those links will be in the description box down below. Also, please like and subscribe to this channel to be able to get further updates about the things that I go through and just further tips about Korean language and culture. As promised with the last episode that I did, I wanted to do one on street food when it comes to stuff that you may want to eat in Korea. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. This, like the other topic of just eating in Korea in general, can be broken up into several different podcast episodes. So expect there to be multiple versions of this one. So we'll jump right into it. There's so many versions of street food. So in order to help get this started, I'm going to talk about some stuff that are based on an article from Soulistic.com. If you've never been to Soulistic.com, definitely that's a website that you're going to want to check out. I will do a review of the YouTube channel coming up within the next week or two. So definitely look out for that. I haven't seen videos from Soulistic in a while, but typically the videos from Soulistic are pretty good. And so you definitely want to subscribe to that channel. For the actual article that I'm going to be giving you some information on, just talking about the various street foods that were mentioned in this article, I will go ahead and put that link in the description box also. So please check out that and check out the other stuff on the website, soulistic.com. Before going deep into everything, I do want to mention about the topic of sundae. Now, I talked about that in the last episode about food that people eat in Korea. Sundae is the blood sausage. I promised I would give you the name of that. And so it is, just as it sounds, it's a pork sausage. The liquid that's used in it is pig's blood, typically. So again, if you're somebody that does not eat blood because of personal or religious reasons, then you will want to remember the term sundae in Korean, because that is the Korean blood sausage. And if you see pictures of it, it has a purplish color, so once you see that color, you'll typically remember that. But that blood sausage is sundae. There are varying dishes with sundae in it, and that is a part of street food, so definitely be on the lookout for that. If you're a person that does not want to eat blood for any personal or religious reasons. So going into some of the other stuff talked about in the article, the very first dish that was talked about is tteokbokki. So tteokbokki, the main part of it is, of course, tteok. Tteok is Korean rice cake. People either love it or hate it. I've never been a big fan of tteok. Some people would go overboard with tteok in dishes. So if you've ever eaten the dish mandukuk, which I'll talk about in another episode when I talk about soups and things eaten on a cold day. But mandukuk is Korean soup that has the mandu, the Korean dumplings, in it. And so sometimes you'll have these round, white, oval-shaped slices of stuff in there. That is typically tteok. So that's the rice cake. So if you love it, then tteokbokki is something that you'll want. It is the rice cake, but it has a spicy red sauce that surrounds it and coats it pretty evenly. And so it's spicy rice cake. And it's a very common thing that you can see in Seoul when you're going around to different street vendors. So definitely that's something you may want to check out. As far as other food items, there is odeng. Odeng is fish cake, and so odeng gets put in many different things. So sometimes in mandukuk again, some people will put odeng in there. Other people will just serve odeng by itself. So it depends on who's cooking the street food, if it's going to be fried, if it's going to be boiled, how exactly you get odeng. But that is a traditional Korean food as well. So you may see that. Don't be afraid to try that. I like odeng a little bit more than I do dok. So if I had to choose between dok, tteokbokki, and odeng, I would go with the fish cake. So odeng for me. There are a number of fried foods that are made in Korea as well. So in the article, it just mentions different fried foods that you can get. One of the more popular ones now, specifically, is the potato twist. So basically, you have a potato on a stick and it is cut with a spiral shape and then it is deep fried. So a lot of people like that. Sometimes you can actually get that put around a hot dog as well. So if you like hot dogs, then definitely that's something that you may want to try. You have your meat and potatoes, so it's like a hot dog and fries, but it doesn't have the bun and it's on a stick. So it's a pretty fun food to eat. There's also fried seafood, so you'll have shrimp, you might have fried egg rolls, fried fish cake, different fried items that are cooked in the Korean streets. So definitely there's a lot of fried foods. Not everything's going to be fried, so if you are a person that's on a diet where you don't eat deep fried foods, you still have a lot of options as far as street food. One thing that's not mentioned, at least on the front page of the article, I didn't go too deep into this article for this, but one thing that was not mentioned, but you will see in a lot of areas where there are street food, is ice cream. And so people make the cones for the ice cream in different shapes. So there is a long tube that is basically an ice cream cone, and then people fill the whole tube up with ice cream. And so you end up getting more cone and you end up getting more ice cream than you would in a traditional ice cream cone. Some people describe the taste of the vanilla ice cream and this cone together as like eating a bowl of cereal. So it ends up tasting, according to some people, almost like you're eating corn pops or honeycomb. So it's not overly sweet, but it's definitely has a sweet taste that many people enjoy. So if you're a dessert person, if you're somebody who's not lactose intolerant, then you definitely will want to try that for dessert. Street food, for those that aren't familiar with it, in Korea, especially in Seoul, you have, especially in popular tourist areas or in subway stations that are very busy, you'll have different vendors that'll cook, and they tend to cook a particular thing or a particular one or two things when they're at their station. So it's almost like a specialty dish that they make. So it's cooked up fresh for people who are wondering about it. The people do wear gloves typically, so if you're concerned about sanitary or people hygiene, different issues like that, then they do wear gloves. The food is cooked right there, right in front of you, so you definitely can see everything that's going into it. And you can also look around the area if you have a food allergy. And the food allergy thing is important because some areas there are certain dishes where sometimes it has nuts, sometimes it doesn't have nuts. So if you have a peanut allergy or just any type of allergy to nuts, then you can look around and you can pick and choose. Street food, definitely, it's better if you carry cash. Some places now probably do accept some type of debit or credit card, but you don't know what type of fee you'll be charged using your foreign card with a street food vendor. So definitely, if this is something you want to try, and it's definitely recommended, the food is great. People have been known to get full off of $5 worth of food. So very cheap, very good food. But definitely, if you're a person who's not big into carrying cash, you will want to carry cash if you want to eat with the street food vendors. Also, in those areas, because it is very touristy, there are different shops for different souvenirs you can buy and other things. And again, paying in cash is going to be better. So for me, I took home so many souvenirs that I ended up having to get a backpack. And I got a backpack in one of these areas. And it actually is held up very nicely, and people think it's a great looking backpack. So it definitely was worth the investment in getting while I was in Korea. But you don't be afraid of trying street food. Some people are leery of street food because the equivalent of that in North America would be a hot dog stand. And so some people don't like the feeling of getting food from a hot dog stand. They don't know how long the hot dogs have been cooking and things like that. But to be able to get the food, watch them cook the food, get it made to order, fresh, hot, the way that you would want it, is definitely worth going and trying. So if you plan to be in Korea, definitely plan to have like a lunch or a late snack, something along those lines, being street food from a street vendor. And as I said before, there will be multiple versions of this because there's a ton of different street food items. So expect more. And as I said earlier when I was talking about the mandukguk, I will do a separate podcast as well about different soups and things that you can eat on a cold day. Since for some, depending upon where you're at, you may get one or two major snowstorms coming up. And so definitely you will want to know what Korean food you can eat to keep you warm in case you're snowed in. So as always, if you have any questions, you can email me, contact@WaygookinWay.com. That is contact@WaygookinWay.com. Please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and also check out the social media links in the description box below. Thank you, and always remember, the best way to get rid of your nightmares is to live out your dreams. Talk to you in the next one. Goodbye.